A man, Ming Yuan, wakes up in a room with a wall of spikes coming toward him. He hears a voice of a girl coming from the room beside him, telling him that the spikes move after every few minutes. Ning tries to get out of the room by breaking the bars on the window, but is unsuccessful. He realizes that the girl has an axe in her room, so he tells her to break the window using the axe, and after getting out, she can save him too, but the girl says that there isn't a window in her room. Ming tells her to give him the axe through the hole present in the wall, but she's afraid to do so because she thinks that Ning will escape and will not come back to save her. Ning swears on his dignity that he will rescue her too, which convinces the girl as she agrees to give him the axe. She tries to push the axe through the hole but cannot do so as the hole is too small. Ning tells her to use the axe to make the hole bigger, but when she hits the wall, they realize that it is made of granite, so they can do nothing. They both sit down as they have no idea what to do now, and the girl starts crying. Ning tells her to be quiet because he can't think if she keeps crying, but the girl says that there is nothing to think about as they just have to wait until the wall of spikes kills them. Ning asks her how she got here. She says that she doesn't remember as she was napping 1 minute and the next, she woke up on an iron bed in this room. Ning gets an idea as he tells her to break the iron bed with the axe and then pass him an iron bar from the bed that he will use to break out. She asks how he will save her, and he says that the roof is made out of rotten wood, so he will break it using the iron and rescue her. She manages to break the bed and gives the bar to Ning, who escapes successfully, but the girl thinks that Ning has abandoned her. In a flashback, we see the girl stuck in the snow with 3 other guys. When one of the guys gets injured, she treats him as she has studied medicine and her father is a doctor. Her name is Sujin, and as she treats the injured man, the other 2 pull her to the side and say that they should leave the injured man here as they can't escape with him, being a burden on them. The man hears everything and starts shouting at the 2 of them, but Sujin tells him to calm down as the other 2 are just over their heads, but they say that their decision is final as they give him his half of the food and leave. The man thanks Sujin for staying with him and curses out the other 2. But Sujin says that they made the right decision as she is the only one who can treat him. It's better that the other 2 are now looking for rescue teams because they would have been useless if they were to stay here. She also reveals that her father used to say that if you can survive, everything is forgiven. The man, seeing her kindness, tries to kiss her, but she leaves saying that she should try to find some food and herbs. The man asks her to be his girlfriend if they can survive, but she rejects him, saying that she prefers intelligent boys over athletes. After a while, as she comes back after collecting food, she sees that the man has abandoned her with a message saying that in case of survival, everything is forgotten. In the present, she curses out all men when Ming breaks through the window and saves her. After getting out, they realize they are on a lighthouse and start going down the ladder. Ning sees that some of the ladder steps are missing, so they have to jump to the other side of the ladder. Ning does so successfully, but when Sujin jumps, the ladder breaks and they fall into the sea beneath. Ning uses his body as a shield to protect Sujin from the impact. Ning now feels like his body can't move as he prepares for death, but Sujin manages to save him. She tries to wake him but realizes he is suffering from blunt force head trauma. She manages to get him into a room in the lighthouse but sees a dead body rotting when she turns on the light. A man appears before her and puts a knife to her throat, asking her who she is and how she managed to get him on this island. She says that someone also brought her here and asks the man to let her treat Ning. The man says he will now question Ning, and if she says a word, he will stab him. Sujin says that Ning is still unconscious when the man wakes him by stepping on his hand. He asks Ning if he knows Sujin, but Ning says he has never met her. Sujin tries to make him remember, but the man gets angry as he had told her not to say anything. The man stabs the floor, barely missing Ning's fingers, and tells them that this is their last warning and he will not tolerate them anymore if they don't obey his rules. The man seems to think they are sent by someone named Hai Chai, but Sujin tells him they don't know who that is. Meanwhile, Ning starts crying and acting like a little boy, which confuses both the man and Sujin. The man asks Sujin to explain why Ning is acting the opposite of how she had described him. Sujin tells him that Ning acted as a shield to protect her from impact as they fell into the sea, due to which the back of his head was hit, and now Ning is suffering from amnesia. The man doesn't believe her but gives her another chance and asks if she can explain why someone that met her a few moments ago would risk his life to save her. Sujin says that the amount of time a person knows someone is not the criteria to see if they would risk their life to save someone because the man's best friends, who he has known for all his life, might not sacrifice themselves to save him. The man knows she is correct and decides to spare them. Now Sujin tries to make Ning remember everything, but to no avail. The last thing he remembers is that he was reading Playboy in 5th grade. They now inspect the corpse in the room and realize that the number 834 is carved on its chest. Sujin asks the man about his name and how he got here, and he tells them that his name is He Jiang. He works for Don Chinyon of the Eastern Gang, and a few days ago, he was trying to escape some punks through a boat, but he doesn't know how he ended up here. He says that Sujin and Ning might also have been on the same ship as him because he saw some boxes. The ship belonged to the smuggler Ming, who might have left them here after he ran into the Coast Guard. But Ning says that can't be true because if Ming was trying to flee, he wouldn't have left him and Sujin in his cell with the wall of spikes. Ning thinks this is all a game and that the numbers on the corpse's chest are a code. Sujin agrees with Ning that these puzzle-based adventure games are very popular these days, and she believes there must be other clues here. They again inspect the corpse and see a small scroll in its ear, which shows a map of where they are. Ning realizes that he has seen this map before, but he can't remember where he saw it due to his memory loss. The next morning, Zhang wakes Sujin and Ning and tells them they are going to the point on the map where X is marked. When Sujin tries to disagree, Zhang says that he doesn't trust them and they should behave like his slaves if they want to survive. They now go through a forest where they find a trap with fresh blood. Zhang tells them to cover up their tracks as they don't know who is present on this island and also orders them to find food. Later, as they are eating food near a cave, Zhang tells Sujin to make a bed out of hay in the cave while he tells Ning to keep a watch and not come inside the cave, otherwise he will kill him. Zhang goes into the cave and tries to rape Sujin, but Ning intervenes and says they are a team so he can't keep quiet while Zhang attacks Sujin. Angry with him, Zhang leaves them alone and he sits outside alone thinking about how shameful it is that he got lectured by Ning. He now hears a scream and goes with Sujin and Ning to where they found the trap. They see a person running from someone as he falls into the trap, but they don't help him as they can't see who is chasing the man. As the man crawls out of the trap, his chaser arrives and kills him, which causes Sujin to faint. They go back to their cave and Zhang tells Ming to get some sleep as he will keep a watch. The next morning, Ming and Sujin are collecting coconuts when a mouse appears near Sujin and she starts screaming. Zhang arrives quickly, thinking that the man from before, who they believe is a cannibal, has attacked. They tell Zhang everything is all right but realize that he is protecting them from the shadows, making Zhang blush. Sujin now goes to pee, where two people attack her. Zhang and Ming run toward her after hearing her scream, but as the two men are about to kill her, an LAPD cop named Tracy Candy arrives and shoots one of the men, making the other run away. She tells him to come with her as she has a group of people waiting for her, but Zhang is skeptical of her because he thinks he has seen her somewhere but can't quite remember where. More men now arrive, which causes the group to flee, but Tracy stays behind to provide cover and tells the rest of them to go through the woods and wait for her at the creek. At the creek before Tracy arrives, Zhang tells Sujin and Ning that they shouldn't trust anyone they meet and they also shouldn't tell anyone about the code and map they have found. Zhang offers to protect them and share his resources if they obey his orders, so they all agree to become a team and swear an oath on it. Tracy now takes them to her group, which consists of 3 men named Romeo, Ao Wenxing, and Kawa Ishigaki. Tracy refers to the men she killed as a savage and tells her group that she killed one today, but Romeo says that she shouldn't waste her bullets on random people, which pisses off Zhang as he grabs Romeo by the collar and tries to start a fight, but Ishigaki stops him and says that if he wants to live with them, he has to follow their rules. Zhang asks about the rules and they reveal that they have to follow the law of the place where they are from, so if they do something that is a crime in their law, they will be punished, and the punishment can range from exile to death. Tracy tells everyone that she saw an architectural complex and Ishigaki proposes that they should go and explore it, but some people in the group are against this decision. They take a vote to decide what to do, but when the votes end in a tie due to Zhang, who wants to know what Ishigaki will do in this situation, Ishigaki proposes a second vote but tells everyone that whoever votes for him will get a check for $10 million. Ishigaki runs an industrial group so everyone knows that the money is real, due to which Romeo switches his vote. Zhang now tells Sujin and Ning to vote against Ishigaki, but still the votes are 4-3 in favor of Ishigaki. Zhang says he will give $30 million to whoever votes for him, but everyone is skeptical if he has that kind of money. Zhang says that it doesn't matter if he has money or not because if someone votes for him, Ishigaki will have to offer more than $30 million for their support. Everyone still votes for Ishigaki, but Romeo decides to switch sides as he is only looking out for his own interest. The group now goes to explore the architectural complex as Ishigaki had to pay $30 million for the votes. As they go through the forest, Zhang tells Tracy that he needs to talk with her alone, but she says they can talk in front of everyone. Zhang whispers something in Tracy's ear, immediately changing her face as she tells Zhang they should talk alone. The rest of the group sees the conversation between them, but Tracy suddenly slaps Zhang and returns to the group. They manage to reach the complex, which is a pyramid that makes Ning believe that they must be in Egypt, but Ishigaki says that there are many pyramids beside the ones in Egypt, so they can't know for certain where they are. They check the surroundings of the pyramids and Tracy finds some burnt marks, meaning that someone made a fire there. They think that it must be the savages, but Ning tells them that's not the case because these fires were made using batteries which the savages can't use. Ishigaki proposes they go inside the pyramid to explore, but Romeo wants to stay outside as he thinks it's dangerous to go inside. Zhang says they should split up into 2 groups, one goes inside to explore and the other stays outside as a backup. Ishigaki agrees with him and says he should go inside as he knows about architecture. He selects Tracy to come with him as security, Sujin to come in case of emergency, and Ao to come for physical work. Everyone agrees, and after they go inside, Romeo asks Zhang why he didn't get money out of Ishigaki in this situation. Romeo also proposes that he and Ziyang should work together for any votes that happen in the future, and they should try to get as much money out of Ishigaki as they can. Ziyang tells him he doesn't want to work with him as he doesn't need the votes to get what he wants. He also threatens Romeo and takes his $30 million check. But when Romeo tells him that what he is doing is a crime and he will be punished, Ziyang tells him that for him to be punished, Romeo should have proof of the crime, which he doesn't have. Meanwhile, in the pyramid, the group comes across some strange symbols that are very old, so Ishigaki can't read them. In a flashback, we see Sujin telling Ning about how she poisoned Ziyang when he tried to rape her in the cave. She gave him the cure when they formed a team, but Ziyang will feel extreme pain in his stomach during the curing process. In the present, Ziyang starts feeling pain in his stomach, and just then, the savages attack them. Ning and Romeo run away, but Ziyang can't do so and falls to his knees. He starts thinking about his death, but Ning returns to save him and carries him on his back. Romeo manages to reach the pyramid and pushes a switch which causes the door to start closing, but Ning and Ziyang manage to get in just in time. The rest of the group arrives and asks what happened when Ziyang tells them that the savages attacked them and Ning saved him, but Romeo tried to close the door and trap them outside. Ishigaki says that the situation was critical, so if Romeo had not closed the door, they would have been killed. Sujin sees a black wound on Ning's arm and realizes that he has been injected with a neurotoxin that will kill him in 10 hours if not healed. Ziyang knows that he got the wound because Ning tried to save him, so he tries to go outside to get the cure from the savages, but the door is closed. Ishigaki says this door can't be opened, so their goal is to find another exit and get the cure to save Ning within 10 hours. Romeo is against this plan as he doesn't want to face the savages and proposes that they should vote, but everyone ignores him. As they keep exploring the pyramid, they come across a huge room with water and large stone pillars, which leaves them both scared and mesmerized. Ning knows he has seen this room somewhere but can't remember where. Suddenly they hear a cry for help and see 4 people stuck in the water, with one of them protecting the other 4 from drowning. Ishigaki says they should analyze the situation before saving them and asks one of them how they got here. One of the people named Andre tells him that they were dumped on this island and says that the person he is holding, who is unconscious, can read the symbols on the walls and knows the exit. They decide to save them as Ao throws a rope at Ander and pulls him out of the water. After seeing his muscles and height, Ishigaki realizes that Ander isn't a normal person and asks him to introduce everyone. Ander tells him he is from Russia and his group consists of Ding Hecken, Rika Cherry, and Professor Gerard. Tracy checks up on Gerard and tells everyone that his vitals are alright and that he will wake up if he just rests. Ziyang says they don't have time for him to wake up because Ning's time is running out when Gerard wakes up and tells everyone that the symbols on the walls say that when they reach the highest point in this room, the exit will reveal itself. The largest pillar is the point they have to get to, but every 10 minutes, water comes pouring out of the inlets in the room and raises the water level by 5 meters. Each stone pillar has a different height, so they have to get to one of the pillars during one of the water level changes and wait on it for the water level to change again. They simply can't swim to the largest pillar because when the water comes, it creates a strong current that blows away anyone in the water. Ming tells them that if they make the largest pillar their destination, they can simply go to the 2 pillars in line with it. The first pillar they have to get to is 30 meters away from them, so they can easily reach it. Each pillar has a difference of 10 meters in height, so after reaching the platform, they have to wait for the water level to change 2 times and then go to the next pillar. But the problem is that not all of them can climb the pillars, so Ishigaki proposes that Ziyang, Ander, and Ao reach the top first and then pull the rest up through a rope. Romeo says that if they do so, the last person they pull up will be in grave danger of getting caught in the water current, so he proposes they should draw lots. Sujin is against the idea because if someone weak like Ning, who is injured, gets the last spot, they will surely die, but Romeo says that why he should care about Ning and calls him dead weight, which makes Ziyang angry as he tries to attack him, but is stopped by Ander and Tracy. They agree that lots should be drawn, which results in Rika getting the last place, and as she is only a housewife and can't climb the pillars, Ishigaki exchanges his first position with her. They now go to the first pillar and everyone reaches it safely. While they wait for the water level to change, Gerard tells everyone that Guilan built this to test strength and courage. Guilan is a mysterious ancient civilization located in South America. In 1500 BC, they were the predators of the Maya, so Guilan's records can only be found in Maya documents. When Ning asks if these savages are members of Guilan, Gerard says that's not the case as the savages were slaves of the Golian civilization and were also used as food. He also says that in the Maya language, Gulia means almighty and wisdom naga, which shocks everyone and they say that it must be exaggerated. But Gerard says that might not be the case because the intelligence of the Guilan people is said to be way above average. Some tales say that the Guilan are immortal. Ishigaki asks if they were so powerful and how they got defeated by Maya. Gerard says that they were not defeated. Instead, they all disappeared with the island they lived on. Ning starts getting a headache because he knows he has heard all of this before, but Sujin tells him to forget about it and just think about escaping for now. They now get to the second pillar, where they see a door which makes them think that this might be the exit, but they decide to go to the last pillar, just as it was written on the walls. Andrew gets to the top first and sees a door, but Jiang falls while climbing along with O. Andrew tells everyone to hurry up as he pulls up Rika, who, after getting to the top, touches the door, which flips, and she gets trapped on the other side, and at the same time, the door they saw on the previous pillar opens. Everyone gets up to the pillar, and Tracy explains how she saw Rika getting trapped. Ishigaki tries to get her out, but Jurad tells him it's no use as the writing on the door says that a sacrifice is required for the real exit to the altar to open, which is the previous door. He also tells them the water will start going down, so they must ride the lowering tide and swim to the other door. Tho proposes that he should swim to the door first, and he will give them a rope so they all can reach it too. During this, Ding blacks out but remembers that his master told him never to give up as his eyes open, and he manages to get to the door. They go through the door and see some human skeletons and a snakeskin that appears to be hundreds of years old. Ning's condition starts to worsen as the poison spreads through his body and he falls unconscious. Jiang tries to carry him, but Amber tells him he should carry him as it's the better option. They reach the next room, which is an altar, and Jiang runs towards it to see if there is a way out. He sees a door on the altar with some writing on it. Jurad reads the writing and tells someone to lie on the altar, which Tracy agrees to do. As she lies down, the gate opens, but Jurad tells them that the writing says that a sacrifice is needed to open the gate, so someone will have to keep lying on the floor for others to go through. Ao says that they should just find some rocks and place them on the altar. That way, they all can escape. But when they look around, they can't find any rocks, and the available ones wither away as you touch them. Romeo says that Ning should be the one to be used as the sacrifice because he is already half dead. When Sujin disagrees, he calls a vote which results in 6 votes in favor of leaving Ning here and 4 against it. Jiang tells everyone that he has no objection to the vote, but to get Ning, they will have to fight him first. Romeo asks Andra, who is carrying Ning, to put him on the altar, but Andra refuses, saying that he is a soldier and will never leave a comrade on the battlefield. Jiang hits Romeo and makes him unconscious, after which he calls a vote to leave Romeo here, which everyone agrees to. They go through the door and manage to get outside the pyramid. Jiang now tells Andra to get some rocks so they can get Romeo out as well. Meanwhile, Romeo wakes up and starts crying, realizing he has been left alone when he is attacked by something. Andra and Jiang hear his screaming and realize that it's too late to save him, so they turn back. On the other hand, Ning finally wakes up after Sujin treats him with some herbs. Ding and Ao get attacked by a large snake, but Tracy and Jiang save Ding. Jiang stabs the snake but gets thrown off the cliff into a lake beneath it. The snake retreats and Ding tells everyone that Ao also fell off the cliff while running. Jiang finds Ao, but he is unconscious, so Jiang does chest compressions to force the water out of his lungs. Now as they go to find the rest of the group, they come across some bubbles. But when Jiang pops them, they smell something sweet coming out of them, which makes them fall asleep. The rest of the group finds Jiang and Ao, but the savages attack them. One man from the savages comes forward, and he is able to speak their language, which shocks everyone. He tells them he can speak their language because of the one-eyed man, but now asks them how they can speak his language and their relation to the one-eyed man. Jurad tells him that he learned the Gowilan language from his master, Professor Xingzhe, who has been dead for a dozen years, but when he was alive, he was a one-eyed man. The savages are now taking the group to their village because they want them to treat their chief. On their way, Jiang tells Ning that the savages' village is in the way of their destination, so they will have to flee when the chance arrives. As they reach the village, Jurad and Sujin go with one of the savages to treat their chief, but seeing that a woman is coming with him, he starts yelling at them because they believe in men's superiority and think women can't do anything. An old savage arrives and tells him to let the girl come along. After inspecting the chief, Sujin diagnoses him with malaria, which is to be treated with quinine, which can be extracted from cinchona. Jurad tells everyone that the chief has allowed 3 group members to search for cinchona, and if they can't do so before sunrise, all the other hostages will be killed. Sujin, Tracy, and Andrew go to find cinchona, while the others are taken to their cells. In their cell, Jurad reads the writing on the wall. It says that the savages had no treatment for malaria, so whoever got infected was offered as a sacrifice. Then 10 years ago, the white-skinned people arrived and used their guns to defeat the savages. Many people were captured, but the white devils disappeared into the volcano. One day, a one-eyed man appeared out of the volcano and treated them for malaria. He could also speak their language and taught the savages his language as well, but when a fleet arrived from the sea, he disappeared. All this makes Jurad think that the one-eyed man is his master because even though Jurad attended his funeral, his master's body was not buried or burnt because he had signed a deal with an organization to donate his body parts after death in exchange for funding for his research. Jurad also reveals that 2 years before his master's death, he visited his house and found out that his master had created a drug that can cause fake death. Professor Zico was also very interested in the eternal life mentioned in Gowilan's history, during which Jurad now believes that his master is still alive. The savages now take everyone out of the cell and prepare to execute them. Jurad tells everyone to be brave as the savages despise cowards, but Ding is already crying and pissing himself due to fear. As they are about to kill him, Sujin and the others arrive with the medicine. She treats the chief, who thanks her, and Sujin says that she will teach them this treatment method. Sujin goes with the old savage named Eden and asks her about some monkeys she faced in the forest. The monkeys seem to be rotten, but could still move. Eden tells her not to get hurt by them. Otherwise, she will become just like them. He says that at the bottom of the volcano, the Gowelan god suppressed those monkeys that he calls ghosts, but the white devils broke the seal, and now the ghosts roam the forests. Later, as the group talks with each other about these monkeys, Ming says that maybe these monkeys were the result of the experiments Girod's master was doing because they appeared at the same time he arrived on the island. They all agree to go to the volcano as it contains all the answers to their questions. At a mansion, a man arrives to meet with Mr. Liu and gives him his reward for winning a bet against his boss. Mr. Liu asks the man if Sujin is still alive, but the man refuses to answer. Mr. Liu bets that the group will be able to survive because Ning is still alive. As the man is about to leave, he is stopped by Professor Zico, who is also present in the mansion. He also takes his reward for winning the bet and now bets the same as Liu. Zico asks Liu why he believes in Ning so much, and Liu says that these obstacles are nothing for Ning. But when Zico tells him that Ning is suffering from amnesia, he gets a little nervous. Meanwhile, the group gets along with the savages as they go fishing together, and Sujin is even teaching Eden how to treat different diseases. Jiang now takes a puff from the pipe that Eden is smoking, but it's too hard for him, so he passes out. Now they go back to the chief where they toast with wine, but Andrew's attention is on an archery competition going on. Mogu, a savage, gives him a bow left by the one-eyed man and tells him that if he wins against him in archery, he can keep the bow, but if he loses, he will get Andrew's hat. They agree, but Andrew gives him his hat even though he wins the match. Jiang now wakes up and sees that ghost monkeys have come to his village, but Mogu and Andrew save him. Mogu sees that another savage has been hurt by the monkey, which means that he will turn into a ghost himself. Eden says to cremate him, but Mogu refuses as, in their culture, a savage only receives peace if he is buried. He decides to dismember the savage's body before burying him so that he can't climb out even if he turns into a ghost. Mogu takes him into the forest to dismember him, but he escapes after he bites Mogu's hand. The others arrive and Eden asks Mogu what happened to his hand, but he lies and says that he scratched it. After going back, Ning asks Eden if the ghost monkeys have ever infected others, and Eden tells him that everyone that has ever been infected has died, including his son Jackson. The next morning, before they leave for the volcano, they stay to see the ceremony of Mogu becoming the new chief. As Mogu drinks the chief's blood as part of the ceremony, Eden starts laughing and tells the group that if someone is bitten by the monkeys, the symptoms might not appear immediately, but if they are to eat the ghost's organs, the symptoms show instantly. He tells the whole village that he added ghost organs to the blood Mogu drank because Mogu was the one that turned his son into a ghost. Mogu turns into a ghost and orders everyone to kill Eden and the others, and afterward, he attacks the previous chief. The group splits up, trying to run from the savages, with Girard and Ding ending up together. They soon run into Ning and decide to go to the volcano when they see Sujin getting chased by the savages who managed to catch her, but they let her go as she saved their village from malaria. Ning and the others decide to keep hiding because they don't know if the savages will be as kind to them. They decide to take an alternate route to the volcano and find a beach where they decide to rest because they know the savages won't come this way. As they look at the beautiful moon, Ning remembers something about his past and starts crying. After he gains his senses, he sees that the beach is getting smaller as the tide is coming in. They try to go somewhere else but see that crocodiles are blocking their way. Ning says they should just run past them, but Ning tells him that if they do that, the last one to cross the crocodiles will surely get eaten. As Girard and Ning try to find a different way, Ding escapes. Ding now thinks about all the times he was helped by them and decides to go back and rescue them with a rope when he runs into Jiang. He tells Jiang about the situation, but just as they are about to go to the beach, they are attacked by the ghost monkeys. Jiang tells Ding to help them while he handles the monkeys. At the beach, Ding throws the ropes to Ning and Girard, who are now hiding by climbing on a tree. They connect the rope to the tree that Girard uses to get back, but when it's Ning's turn, the rope gets too close to the ground, so he has to walk on the rope while balancing himself. He manages to get across, but before he can reach the shore, a crocodile catches up to him. Fortunately, Jiang arrives there and saves him. Ning realizes that the monkeys have hurt Jiang, but there might still be time before he turns into a ghost. Ning says that there might be an antidote to cure him at the volcano, so he should come with them. But the others tell him to stay back as they are afraid he might turn into a ghost. Girard says that he will mark their direction so Jiang can follow them even if he stays back. Meanwhile, Sujin is startled by Ishigaki and Ao, due to which she screams, which is heard by everyone. Andrew and Tracy immediately come to help her, but they are attacked by the monkeys. They manage to escape but leave their food behind and think about going to the volcano without the food, but Sujin tells them that there will be no food and herbs at the volcano, so Ishigaki splits the group into two, with one going to get the food and one searching for herbs. Nate and the others now get stuck in a swamp, but following Girard's lead, they slowly make progress in getting out. Ding gets surprised by a spider and starts to sink when he grabs Ning's leg, who tells him to let him go as he will save him after getting out. Zhang also arrives and gets stuck, so Ming tells Gerard, who had managed to get across the swamp, to use the tree vines to make a rope through which everyone manages to get out of the swamp. Gerard and Ding are still afraid of Zhang, but Ning says that he isn't going to leave him alone because he is his brother and he has been saved by Zhang many times, but Zhang makes Ning agree to kill him if he turns into a ghost. Gerard now apologizes for escaping from the swamp alone, but Ning tells him there is no need to do so as the main goal is survival. Sujin and her group are now discussing how they got across the swamp when Out tells Tracy that he thinks Ander likes her. Tracy reveals that years ago, when she worked with Interpol against a multinational drug cartel, she killed a man she thinks is Ander's brother, but she doesn't know that for sure. Meanwhile, Ning and his group find the food left by the others and start going toward the volcano. Sujin and everyone get close to the volcano, and the heat starts getting to them when they realize that Ishigaki is missing. They search for him separately but hear Scream, who also disappears. Andrew and Tracy are suspicious of each other and are blaming one another when they hear Sujin screaming and see her drowning in quicksand. They try to help her but get sucked into it and fall through it into a cave where they are reunited, but they find Ishigaki unconscious. Ning and his group also reach the volcano and find a hot spring, but suddenly Gerard starts showing symptoms of malaria. They know Sujin has some medicine to cure it, so they need to find her as quickly as possible. They see Ishigaki's coat on the water stream and decide to follow it. They find a cave, but only Ding and Ning go inside because Gerard can't walk anymore and Zhang stays with him for his safety. On the other hand, the other group tries to find a way outside, so Ander proposes that he and Tracy should go and look, but Lu offers to go instead because of the past between Ander and Tracy, but Tracy says that she will go. Ander and Tracy come across a man-built tunnel, and after further exploring, they realize that it's a research center, which means Ning's theory about Professor Zico was correct. They split up as the path divides into two when Tracy is attacked by someone who she believes to be Ander and starts firing at the person. Hearing the gunshots, Ander tries to reach Tracy, but she tries to shoot him because she thinks he attacked her. This pisses off Ander, who now tries to kill her too, and while they are fighting, Ning and Ding arrive and try to stop them. Ning tells her that they saw Ander in the hallway when the first gunshots were fired, which means he wasn't the one who attacked her. Tracy doesn't believe them, and Ander tells Ning that Tracy is a criminal and he is the real Interpol. Ning, seeing that they aren't going to stop trying to kill each other, threatens to destroy all the remaining food if they don't stop fighting. Ning and the others return to where Ishigaki is, and Ning asks Sujin to come with him to treat Gerard and Jiang. He tells her that the ghost monkeys have infected Jiang, so she should just give him the medicine to treat Gerard, but she says she will have to inspect him before giving any medicine. Andrew also goes with them, but Jiang and Gerard are nowhere to be found. After looking for them for a while, they see Jiang's knife stabbed into the wall. Ning, seeing that Ander, who is 2 meters tall, has to jump to get to the knife, realizes that Jiang in his condition couldn't have stabbed the knife that high. They go back to the group, and after Ishigaki wakes up, they go to further explore the research facility. Seeing the construction equipment, Ishigaki and Ning deduce that there must be a harbor through which the equipment is being transported, and if they can find the harbor, they will surely find a radio or some satellite communication. They now come across a room requiring an ad to get in, so they use the ad of a dead researcher beside the door. Ishigaki enters the room and, seeing a supercomputer, realizes that this is a data center. He tries to get into the master computer, but has a 40-digit password, so it will take a week for Ishigaki to bypass, but Ning tells him to use the supercomputer to speed up the process. The group splits into two to further explore the area while Ishigaki tries to bypass the password. Ishigaki also has control of the cameras, so he guides the others about where they should go. Tracy, Sujin, and Ding come across a lab where the immortal ghost monkeys are made. Ding says they should leave, but the others decide to stay as the antidote to the virus must be present here. On the other hand, Ning, Ander, and Al find a changing room where they see that one of the lockers belongs to a US soldier, who talks about how he feels sorry for the savages, but Ander tells him not to play hero and that he will only drag everybody back. Al suddenly starts acting strange, and upon the others asking, he reveals that he has a psychological disorder. Ever since he got nervous trying to take the final shot in a basketball game, he now loses control of his limbs every time a critical situation arrives. They now go to a restaurant at the end of the hallway and see that a large number of skeletons are present in the room. They see another door, and when they open it, they see a man sitting on a sofa. Sujin and the others see that someone has already stolen the drugs, but Sujin doesn't give up and tells the other two to keep searching. On the other hand, the person Ning's group found turned out to be dead, but they were all shocked because the corpse's condition was just like that of a living person. They search the corpse and find his id, which states that he is the research supervisor, so if they use this id, they can open the doors that weren't opening before. They also find a notebook with all its pages torn apart, and as they inspect it, someone runs outside the door. Andrew goes to find the person, but Ning tells him to leave the notebook. Andrew leaves the book, which Ning further inspects and finds something written on its last page. Someone now attacks Sujin's group with a grenade, but they are unharmed due to Tracy's quick actions. Tracy tells them that she saw that Andra attacked them, but Sujin says they shouldn't jump to conclusions. Tracy says she will provide cover, so Sujin and Ding should try to run for the door in front of them, but they know that the first person that rushes out will be in the most danger. Ding offers to be the first one and manages to reach the door, but it's too heavy, so he only manages to keep it open until Sujin and Tracy can get on the other side. Ding can't get across the door when a grenade falls on his foot and explodes. Tracy and Sujin try to find a way out, but all the other doors are closed except one which leads to a bathroom. They hide in it, but suddenly smoke starts coming out from the showers, which causes them to fall unconscious, after which the man attacking them opens the door. Ning and Ao get back to Ishigaki and ask him about the explosion when Ishigaki tells them Andra attacked Sujin and Tracy because he saw him carrying them out in a trolley. Ning says they shouldn't blindly attack Andra and should try to predict his next move. Ishigaki says that it will still take a while for him to crack the code, but Ning says that he doesn't have to do that anymore because he has already found the password. He gives Ishigaki the notebook from the corpse and reveals that at the end, something is written that amounts to 40 words. Ishigaki puts the words in the computer and the password is accepted, but a secondary verification is required in the form of the handprint of the supervisor, and if it isn't provided within 10 minutes, the system will self-destruct. Ning and Ishigaki manage to convince Ao to go to the corpse, cut off his hand, and bring it back because he is the only one fast enough to do so within 10 minutes. After reaching the corpse, Ao can't bring himself to cut off its arm and decides to carry the whole corpse back. Ao reaches back, and as time is about to expire, he jumps with the corpse toward the computer. And with that, the story ends on a cliffhanger.